Okay, so something I have never talked about in any video is what my favorite genre of games are. Because if you scroll through my videos, you will see that I cover any game that has my attention at the time, regardless of genre. But to get straight to the point, no other genre has captivated me and kept me intrigued near as much, or caused as many broken controllers, as the fighting genre. See, when it comes to video games, there are a countless amount of genres right at your disposal. There are the team-based strategic games like Overwatch, single-player focused games that take you on grand adventures where you watch yourself grow like Skyrim. And then there are the somewhat lesser-known genres like roguelike, which dominate the indie scene. But among all of these lay dormant one genre that eats new players alive.
It's time for the moment you've been waiting for.
That genre being fighting games. In terms of genres, few others are heavily focused on individual skill. See, if you hop into a game of Overwatch, you'll likely see an insta-lock Junkrat or something when your team really needs a healer or a tank. That one idiot just bollocked your team and gave them a severe handicap. You could build your team around him, yes, but that hinders the fun for everyone, and more than likely this guy isn't going to be a team player. Now, games like Skyrim are single player, so you don't have to worry about neckbeard here. Now, these are damn fun, I'm not denying that, and I'm not arguing about that at all. But like I said, they're single player, so you don't have the option to test your skill against other players. This isn't a bad thing by any means, but for me, at least, I enjoy competition in my games. Yes, MMOs do let you compete against other players with RPG aspect, but like I said, this is focused more on team-based combat rather than individual skill. And fighting games are built around this. Testing your skill against other players is what I mean. This in turn makes it extremely focused on getting better and improving your skill. If you get a new fighting game and you jump straight into the online match, you will more than likely get yourself utterly destroyed like Pro Jared's career.
How could this happen to me? I made my mistakes, got nowhere to run. The night goes on as I'm fading.
So in order to improve your skill, you will need to practice. Now for some people this is unbearably boring, but for people like me and other fighting game fans, we can spend all day in practice mode, which the community has deemed the lab. This is called labbing, and I can spend hours upon hours in here just practicing for hours, learning all there is to know just to get better. And when you improve, it is easy to see when you go back online and you become the destroyer. For this exact reason, that is why the esports scene for fighting games is one of the largest there is. Evo just ended at the time of making this video, and the views were absurd. Watching players put their hard work and practice to the test is like watching an anime that you've waited for the climactic battle for 3 seasons, and it's a spectacle. However, this makes them extremely scary for casuals and new players. Let me give you an example. Whenever I talk to a friend about games, I usually ask them, what kind of games do you enjoy the most? And the answer is different depending on the person, that's obvious. They in turn always ask me the same question. Naturally, I say fighting games. And after me saying that, they always say the exact same thing. They say they have played them, but they suck at them, so they don't really bother with them anymore. This always makes me extremely sad, because fighting games, for me at least, give me the greatest sense of accomplishment more than any other. When you finally land that combo you have been brainstorming and it works, and it looks hard-ass, it really feels like you beat a Dark Souls boss. Because in reality, you just spent just as much time practicing this combo so you could master it as you would beating a Dark Souls boss. And then you can take that skill and put it online and just wow other players with this random brainstorming combo you did. Now, other than the competition, fighting games have something else that draws me and many others in, that being the roster. Something that can be a selling point for most is what kind of characters they'll be able to play as when they get the game. Now, for some, they could honestly care less about the characters. They only really care about the moveset and the mechanics of the game. But for me, I think the roster is almost, if not just as important. Take the flop that was Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. This game's fighting mechanics were amazing, and it was unbelievably fun. In summary, let's just say the fighting mechanics of Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite were top tier. Just take a look at the roster. Just here, I'm gonna be quiet and just look at the roster and just tell me which characters you recognize or you would want to play as. Here, take a look. I don't get excited to play Firebrand. Who would you rather have in a game made to celebrate Marvel and Capcom characters, Nemesis or Wesker? Nova or Wolverine? Any X-Men. There's not an X-Men in the game. Spencer? Couldn't you give us the return of Captain Commando or some other late dormant character? And where is Magneto? See, there lies the issue. This roster is very flawed, and the community noticed and made their voices loud about how disappointed they were with this. And what did they do? The DLC was even worse. There was actually more Marvel characters with DLC than there were Capcom characters. So the ending roster screen looks like this. People with OCD are having a panic attack right now. But other than that, Winter Soldier? Winter Soldier. No X-Men. Winter Soldier. And Black Widow. Really? Black Widow? Now let's change tones and look at Smash Brothers. In particular, Smash Ultimate. Dear God, this roster is an acid trip, man. This is what sells this game to so many casuals. Smash is not an easy game to master. It's easy to pick up, yes, but if you watch the Pro League, you'll see all the crazy crap the professionals do. It is not an easy game to become amazing at. But look at the sales, man. They speak for themselves. Sales prove that a roster is important. And the reason so many casuals play it is because, hey, let's just say a person really likes Metal Gear Solid. It's their favorite franchise, right? You can play a Snake. They'll want to play as Snake in a game like this. And Final Fantasy fans, they can play as Cloud, or Weeaboos can play as Joker. You get the point. This is something that draws me in, seeing my favorite characters playable again. Look at how the fans reacted when they finally got their golden goose, which is Spawn, in a Mortal Kombat game. We finally got Spawn after begging for him since Mortal Kombat 9. It made us all riot in happiness because our pleas were finally heard. So to summarize, the draw of fighting games is a combination of many things, but the main things that make us fans devoted is the competition it brings, the accomplishment we feel, and a good roster just makes it all so much better. But that's just one man's opinion, at least. I'm honestly intrigued on what you guys think about all this and what your favorite genre is. And if it is fighting games, I'd love to hear what draws you in. Okay, this is the end of the video, obviously, but real quick, if you're interested in seeing the crazy reactions to pulling off something amazing in a fighting game, go to YouTube and Google Evo Moment 37. It's a very, very old video, yes, but just if you look up, there's a video actually out there called The Most Iconic Moments in Evo History. It's made by a guy called The Score Esports, and at one point in the video he goes over Evo Moment 37 and explains what's so amazing about it. And if you're looking for a YouTuber who is crazy about fighting games and all of his videos are mainly just about fighting games, he's just unbelievable at them, and he's extremely passionate about the fighting genre. Look up Maximilian Dude. Yes, he's the biggest fighting game YouTuber there is, so most people know of him. But if you don't, I strongly urge you go check his content out. It's amazing. Anyways, thanks guys.